so much. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you so much for accepting
My
the
pleasure.
invitation. I'm so
My
really
pleasure.
happy to have you here in my channel, in this live stream. And we're going to have some fun. We're going to talk about drums, and we're going to talk about music, and we're going to, learn from you a lot. So
No problem.
Thank you.
My pleasure.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me well?
I can, yeah.
Okay, and can you hear the music in the background?
Got it? Yeah.
So this is you about maybe 50 years ago, maybe 40 years ago.
Long time ago.
Long time ago. So we're hearing to the Europeans, right? And this is
Yep.
the album called Vocabulary.
Yeah.
And
That's the first album with my very first band.
crazy.
And the story behind that was we all grew up in a country called Scotland.
Right.
And it was the same bunch of guys from when we were, I think, about 10 years old. And, and we moved to London when we were 16, 17, I think it was. And we all lived in a little flat above a shop in not such a great part of town. And, we had absolutely nothing, but we had a big bag full of dreams, and off we went to make music in London. And after about 2 years of working there, we met a producer and we did some demos. And then one evening, the bass player and I,
Right.
we went into it keeps falling down. We went into A&M Records.
Okay.
And we played our demo to the A&R guy, and he said, "I love it. I want to sign it. I want to sign it." And that was it. We were ready to make our first album. It was an incredible story.
Great. So let me just start. We're going to do this. I'm going to translate what you say for our Hispanic audience, for everybody that is connected right now. So, básicamente le pregunté a Geoff, estábamos escuchando su primera banda que se llama The Europeans del álbum Vocabulario. Y entonces él nos está contando que esa fue su primera banda y que empezaron en Escocia con un par de amigos, empezaron a tocar y todo eso. Luego se fueron a Londres sin nada, sin absolutamente nada, y fueron allá y empezaron a tocar puertas. Fueron a un estudio de grabación, AM Records, what was it?
A&M Records.
A&M Records, A&M Records. Entonces, que les mostraron el demo al productor y, mejor dicho, se enamoraron y ahí empezó. So, thank you, Mr. Geoff, y gracias a todos por los que se están conectando. Vamos a pasar un gran tiempo con Mr. Geoff Dugmore, un artista súper experimentado. Estamos en Hablando Drums, Talking Drums, y hablando de Geoff Dugmore. Él nació en los 60s y es un baterista y director musical. Entonces, gracias a todos los que se están conectando. Mr. Geoff, I just said you were born in the 60s and you're a drummer and musical director.
Correct.
That's huge. And I mean, from the 60s, and there's many questions I would like to ask you, but let's start from the beginning. Let's start from where you came from and how you started playing drums.
Okay, when I was, let me think, I think it was about 11 years old, and I'll tell you what it was. I saw the cover of the Let It Be album by the Beatles.
Okay.
And in the gatefold sleeve, there was a picture of Ringo Starr's drum set, who's 80 today. Happy birthday, Ringo.
Oh, happy birthday, Ringo.
There was a picture with him with the drums, and I just thought, man, that's what I want to do. That is just incredible. And my parents wouldn't buy me a drum set, although I really wanted one badly. But they bought me a guitar, and I learned to play a bit of guitar. But when I was 12, there was a guy in my school who had a drum set, so I swapped my guitar for his drum set.
Amazing.
And that's how I started playing drums. It was an old Premier drum set with calfskin heads and all the drums were not quite regular sizes. Supposed to be 22-inch bass drum, for example, but it was probably something like 22 3/4 or something. So
Wow.
it was wild. I mean, just was so excited.
I'm sure it was kind of like a nightmare to find the right drum heads for that drum set, right?
Well, they were all calfskin drum heads. So luckily there was an incredible drum shop in my hometown of Glasgow. And I used to go there every Saturday and just hang out and look at the drums. And the guy that owned the shop, Tom Bradley was his name. And he was so cool with me. He used to just welcome me and let me come and hang out, even at such a young age. I was like at 12 years of age. But I just used to hang out in his drum store every weekend and polish the drums and look at them and just imagine having a huge drum set like the new ones were there.
Okay, let me translate that.
Yeah, of course.
Incredible story. So le pregunto a Geoff de cómo empezó y cómo empezó como todo este mundo de la batería. Entonces él nos dice que fue más o menos para los 11 años cuando vio un álbum un póster de Beatles y vio a Ringo Starr con la batería y los ojos se le hicieron pues gigantes. Entonces le decía a los papás que le compraron una batería y no se la compraron, le compraron una guitarra. Entonces como a los 12 dice que en la escuela cambió la guitarra por una batería a un amigo de su colegio, pero que era una Premier antigua, vieja, con unas medidas totalmente irregulares de parches de cuero. Entonces, pero también que iba a una tienda, él iba a una tienda en su donde vivió y se la pasaba en la tienda y lo dejaban estar ahí y él miraba todas las baterías, pues soñando tener algún día una batería de esas y pues así fue como él empezó. So that's so crazy. So you started like with nothing, and then imagining you were going to conquer the world in drums, right?
Exactly.
So, and then what did you started practicing? Who was your first idol? I guess Ringo Starr. But why you said about?
Sure. I mean, what I used to do is I set up the drums in my bedroom in my home, and I just used to play along to all my favorite songs that were going on at the time, which was everything from the Beatles to Led Zeppelin to Deep Purple, Montrose. I don't know if you remember, you might not remember Banco Montrose, Leonard Skinner, the Average White Band.
Wow.
And then I discovered Motown. So I was starting to figure out all this different kind of music that was going on out there. But at the time, I don't think I really knew, one genre of music from another. I just was digging the songs big time. The songs were everything for me. And if it was a great song and I loved the drum track, I would just play along and figure out how the drummer had done it. Because I never had a drum lesson in my life. I just used to use my ears for everything.
Oh, wow.
So that's really how I kind of got into it, just playing along to all my favorite songs of the time.
Okay, wow, so much to cover.
Yeah.
So le estoy preguntando a Geoff que cómo empezó a tocar batería. Entonces él nos dice que colocaba su batería en el cuarto y tocaba sus canciones favoritas de bandas como The Beatles, Led Zeppelin, Leonard Skinner, Deep Purple, Motown, y nos mencionó una banda, Montrose. Pues yo no la conozco personalmente, pero si alguien lo sabe, pues déjenmelo saber. Y también decía que él solamente tocaba, no conocía de género, sino que disfrutaba las canciones que tocaba y trataba de emular lo que escuchaba de los otros bateristas. Él utilizaba mucho sus oídos y trataba de saber cómo se tocaba. Y también nos dice que él no tomó una lección en su vida. Entonces, so you never took lessons. So how do you develop, the speed? Because I've seen your videos and, you're amazing. You're really talented and, and you're very technical, I can see. So how do you get that technicality of drums? Because, I know we have to practice our rudiments and, I myself teach basic drum lessons and I always say, okay, just, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, left, right, and singles, doubles, paradiddles, and, all that, things that makes you a great drummer. But can you maybe tell us the secret? How do you...
I don't know if there is really a secret. I mean, it really all started from just wanting to try to play all the songs that I was listening to that I loved. And then it was just a case of trying to figure out how on earth they had done that. So it was a process of elimination. But the one thing I did do was when I was at school, we had what we call a pipe band, like a marching band. So I played the snare drum in that. So I guess I learned a little bit. When I say I never had a drum set lesson, but I had some lessons in playing pipe band.
Okay,
music.
Lots of rudiments and.
So that
So you started with traditional technique or matching technique? Y pues me hizo sentir un poco bien en cierta manera. So thank you, Geoff. And let's finish this amazing interview with you. And I have a top 5 type of situation. So
okay.
And I'm gonna go from 5 to top 1. So the first one would be top 5 would be the top 5 accessories that you always carry when you do a recording or a show. Top 5 accessories for drumming that you always have to have.
Okay, always have to have a selection of drum heads to choose from, a selection of bass drum beaters, 2 or 3 different pairs of hi-hats, sizes and types, at least 4 or 5 snare drums.
Okay.
Or variation.
Perfect. That was 1, 2, 3, 4, and one more, I guess.
One more. It's 0 rings and gels.
Oh, gels. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, and one other thing. Sorry, one other thing. I need some towels.
Towels?
For putting on top of the drums, in case I want that particular really dead sound.
Even for live situation? No, this is mostly for recording.
For live, only for
okay.
Yeah.
I used to put towels on my drums, but so it doesn't make that loud when I was practicing.
Oh yeah, no, I get that. No, but I mean, I use them a lot. I used what we call like a piece of leather.
Okay.
With a when you hang up your laundry, you have a like a clip that you put your t-shirts on the laundry line. So I use that and I clip it to the rim of the drum with a piece of leather over the top of the drum. And I use that on a
muffle the sound, right?
Yeah, and I use that quite often on the rack tom, for example, in different situations to get that kind of sound that I'm looking for. Because there was a song that I did live where the front end of the song was quite a simple groove. It was just but I didn't want to use the bass drum because I wanted to save that for when the main body of the song came. So you got more of a low end, push on it. And I didn't want to use the snare drum because it was just going to be too obvious. So I got a little snare drum made by LP Percussion. And it's like a timbali snare. It's only 8 inches in. And I used a beater on the rack tom with the leather over the top as the bass drum. Yeah. And then I used this little timbali snare as the snare drum. So it made this great sound. And then when the main part of the song,
in that case, would a mallet would work in that situation, like some sort of mallet?
Yeah, the mallet worked great on the rack tom because it just it didn't give quite so much attack. If you imagine a bass drum, you can have a wooden bass drum, you can have one with felt, you can get one with the fluffy ones, the big fluffy things. And what I wanted, because the bass drum beater on the actual song was the big fluffy one, I wanted that really kind of 70s sound out of the bass drum.
Yeah.
No dampening, two heads, no hole in the front head or anything. So I wanted something to complement that in terms of the bass drum sound. The snare drum I had really deep and quite choked down. That was the kind of sound I was looking for. So the contrast, you were getting something close to the bass drum sound out of the rack tom.
Wow.
But the snare drums were, this far apart.
Of course.
For the contrast and the pitch more than anything else.
I'm guessing you would use that for the verses and then for the chorus a full drum set sound.
Exactly.
So it sounds bigger and fuller.
Yeah.
Wow.
So you get you get the dynamic change is kind of what it was all about.
Great. Okay, let me translate that. So, le estoy preguntando sobre sus 5 accesorios que no le pueden faltar en una grabación o un show, y nos dice diferentes tipos de parche, diferentes tipos de golpeadores en el bombo, 3 o 4 tipos de hi-hats diferentes, los diferentes redoblantes también, 4 o 5 diferentes redoblantes, y nos habla de los moon gels. Y después estamos hablando específicamente de toallas, que nos dijo que nos agregó las toallas para tapar pues el sonido de la batería como tal. Entonces yo le estaba preguntando que cómo se podría utilizar eso, en qué situación, y nos dice que de pronto en una grabación él utiliza toallas o un clip como esos que uno utiliza para colgar la ropa después de lavar. Entonces él hace el clip a ese material que es como un cuero, nos dice después que es un material como un cuero, y nos da el ejemplo que en una canción él hizo eso en un tom para que no sonara o sea, sonara un poco más agudo que el bombo, pero que no sonara como que complementara el bombo, eso en las partes del verso, y luego para el coro de la canción él sí utilizó la batería full. Entonces que utiliza ese material en el tom y le da con un mallet o con el mismo beater del bombo para que le dé esos tonos. Entonces él es muy creativo en esa forma de que utiliza diferentes accesorios para crear el sonido que él quiere y necesita de los beaters. Okay, so now top 4. So give me the top 4 shows that you have done live.
Ooh, wow. Okay. Oh God Almighty. Right. Okay. So I think one of them would be a French singer called Johnny Hallyday.
Yes.
And we played it 3 nights at the Stade de France, which is about 90,000 people a night. That was absolutely incredible.
Is that from the picture I took for the promo?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
Any show at the Budokan in Tokyo.
Oh, wow.
One of probably my favorite venue of all.
How many times have you played there?
I think about 74 or 75 times, something like that.
74, like I said, 7 and a 4.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. That's so cool.
Yeah, it's just an incredible venue to play. Amazing. Let me think. There was an amazing show with a band called Killing Joke. Have you heard of them?
No.
Killing Joke.
Are they from Japan?
No, British band.
Okay.
They were the biggest inspiration for Nirvana.
Oh, wow.
And in fact, Nirvana ripped off one of their songs.
Which one? It smells like a Teen Spirit, right?
Yep. That guitar riff was a Killing Joke guitar riff.
I heard of that, but okay, I'll check it out.
Yeah. We did a show at a place called the Limelight in Manhattan, which was an old church. And in the middle of one song, the only thing I can explain it to you is there was like a sound vortex where the sound seemed to disappear and become nothing. Now, all the 9 Inch Nails and Alice in Chains, and there was so many bands there to see us playing that night. And it's probably one of the most freaky experiences I've ever had in my life. And It just so happened the song that we were playing was a song called Communion. And we were playing this song Communion in an old church. And the stage is where the altar used to be.
Right.
So you begin to wonder, I wonder if there's something strange going on here or not,
Wow.
But I remember we came off stage and the tour manager said to us, "Okay, guys, we're getting out of here right now. We're not hanging around. We're going."
This is getting
That's
spooky.
Yeah, very.
Okay. Wow. And okay, so Anything else? Any other show?
Yeah, let me just think about this. There's a lot of shows. Oh yeah, it was an amazing show I did at CBGB's in New York. CBGB's was the most famous punk rock club in Manhattan. It's closed now. But I did a show there one night with Debbie Harry, Iggy Pop, Lou Reed, Anthony from the Chili Peppers. And then we finished with this kind of 45-minute version of Groove Is in the Heart by D-Light with everybody on the stage. It was basically a party, but it was an amazing night there. Oh, and Joey Ramone came up and sang too.
That's crazy.
In fact,
Joey Ramone from the Ramones?
Yeah.
Wow.
When I was, because a long time ago, I produced a record for Debbie Harry and in Manhattan at Electric Ladyland Studios.
Okay.
And she was doing a duet with Joey Ramone. And I went into the studio area after they finished singing. And there was a piece of paper there with the kind of all these squiggles and things on it. And I said to Debbie, what's that? And what I didn't realize was that Joey couldn't read. He couldn't write. So he developed his own way of writing.
Like writing music or writing?
Writing words.
Words.
You know?
Wow, that's cool.
So it was kind of like all these squiggles and things, and that was his way of writing words. I mean, incredible. But I still have that piece of paper.
Oh, wow.
But he was such a cool guy. So nice.
Cool.
So
okay,
nice.
Let me
Sorry,
translate.
I'm forgetting what it is we're talking about.
I should have started with this top 5 questions. Okay, so le estoy preguntando a él que me mencione el top 4 de los live shows que ha hecho, y entonces la lista es impresionante. Entonces dice que Johnny Hallyday, que es un artista francés muy reconocido, me dice que 3 noches en el Estadio de Francia, que fue increíble tocar ahí con él, y fue ver la foto que yo utilicé para los promos que utilicé para promocionarlo. También nos dice que ha tocado en Budokan de Japón por 74 veces, que es increíble. Nos habla de que tocó con una banda que se llama Killing Joe de Gran Bretaña, del Reino Unido, y que fue la inspiración de Nirvana, y que de hecho nos dice que ellos fueron de esa banda de Killing Joke, robaron el riff de Smells Like a Teen Spirit de Nirvana. También nos habla de Limelight en Manhattan, que tocó en una iglesia vieja y que de un momento al otro el sonido como que se desapareció. Estaban tocando una canción llamada Continuum, y entonces que se pusieron un poquito friki que eso hubiera pasado. Y luego me habla de una banda que se llama New CBGB's, que es como un sitio donde se toca punk rock en Manhattan muy reconocido, y que ahí tocó con una cantidad de artistas como Lou Reed, Anthony de Chili Peppers, Joe Ramone de los Ramones, y que pues, la experiencia fue genial. Geoff, you have actually given us a lot of tips today, but maybe the top 3 advices for drummers that are just starting out. Just 3 things.
3 things, okay. Practice hard. Be cool. And always be on time for everything that you get asked to do.
Ok, le pregunto a Geoff acerca de los 3 consejos para esos bateristas que están empezando. Ese es uno de ellos, escuché muy bien. Dice que practicar, ser buena gente, ser cool, y el otro es estar a tiempo en todas las situaciones que se te presenten. Entonces ya saben, practicar, ser buena onda y llegar a tiempo a todas las presentaciones. Now the top 2 would be the best 2 things of playing live, and 2 best things of playing in sessions. Like, what would be those top 2?
Okay, the 2 best things about playing live: the fun and interaction that you have with the band and with the audience. That is everything, and the energy that you can give and receive. They're the 2 most incredible experiences from playing live. You cannot beat it. Studio, the ability to be creative. You're not just playing the same thing night after night as the same as you are playing live. You have those moments of absolute incredible inspiration, and you have that little bit of time to create a sound for your drums again, in terms of the song. So I would say it's more in the studio. It's more one thing. It's just the creative process is mind blowing. I still get goosebumps every time I go there, and I've done it a million times. Absolutely.
You get nervous?
For shows, I do. Yeah, of course.
Wow.
Of course.
I would think this is a walk in the park for you. Okay, recording. Here we go. All right, 3, 2, 1. Give me a cue. And rock.
Yeah, I mean, I feel more. I almost feel more relaxed or more easy in the studio than I do going to play live. But I love playing live. Don't get me wrong, but I take both elements very seriously.
So a friend of mine before that, a friend of mine from Colombia, a great drummer, Jose Uriza.
Hi, Jose.
How do you manage the nerves in the studio? How do you manage it?
I don't really get nervous in the studio because you can always do it again. I don't really get. Not that I do, but nearly everything that I do in the studio is in the first 3 takes. That's where the magic happens. But I think maybe when I started out, I was more intimidated by the studio than playing live. But now it's like, it's the same. When I go to the studio, I take it very seriously, of course. But it's a bit like going to the kitchen and making a cup of tea. You spend so much time there that it feels like home. It's just like, you're going from your home to your other home sort of thing. So I don't feel intimidated or scared by it at all, working in the studio. But I think that's more just down to the volume of times, the amount of times that I've been working there. I think that's what that's down to. It's nothing else. But the thing about it, I don't think you should ever let something intimidate you. Yeah. So
we only have like 2 minutes remaining.
Okay,
and
sorry.
I don't want to stop.
I could go on for hours.
I know. Yeah, and I would love to translate everything you just said, but unfortunately, we don't have enough time for translation. I hope somebody just put it out there. Maybe I'll translate it later. But I just want to thank you so much, Geoff, for everything you have shared with us today. Thank you so much. Really admire you and I appreciate and I hope one day I get to play like you and at a session and be so comfortable and creative and emulate the drummers. I would just love to finish this transmission by tell me the top one, which is somebody that you would love to play that you haven't done so in 2 words, because we don't have much time now.
Okay, I would love to have played with Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Okay, great band.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, and thank you so much to everybody that joined us.
Yeah, thank you, everybody.
It's been 2 hours. It's incredible, but thank you so much, and God bless you, and wish you the best for sure.
Thank you, and thank you so much, Xavi.
I really hope to keep in touch with you, and maybe if you come to Miami, I'll be here.
We'll have dinner.
After all these crazy things happen. Okay, 19 seconds now. Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Take good care. Thank
Everybody
for tuning in.
Absolutely. And until next time, and sleep well.
Yeah, stay safe, everybody.
All right, 5, 4, 3, 2. Thank you so much.